Hey there, welcome to another edition of Comic Book Geezers. I'm your host, Pete. My co-host,
I'm Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic. How you doing tonight?
We're here with a special edition of Comic Book Geezers today, something that you guys have requested. We're going to cover some martial arts characters, mostly by Marvel, but some not so Marvel, particularly Iron Fist and Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu. So we're going to start off with Iron Fist, who, of course, premiered in
Marvel Premiere.
That is correct. So, and I believe he started with issue 15 or 16.
Not exactly sure. We don't have them, but we know the series started with Doctor Strange and switched over to Iron Fist.
Yeah, and that first Iron Fist issue is going for a lot of money nowadays because, obviously, of the Iron Fist TV show and the first appearance, because first appearances generally are really expensive and a lot of money. But the first one that either one of us have, because we both have a few, is issue number 18. This is the first one I ever bought.
Get that up there a little closer.
Yeah, can we see that there? Great cover artwork there.
Get rid of
So,
that glare.
story of Iron Fist. So he is kind of like a millionaire's family's son. His name is Danny Rand. He winds up going to a kind of magical place, I believe in the Himalayas, called Kunlun. That's where he gets all of his martial arts training and what is it? He kind of inherits the power of the Iron Fist, so he can conjure up when he goes. What does he channel his ki, right, or chi? I think it's called chi, and he can develop this unstoppable force in his fist. So that's issue number 18. So the next one we got is number 20, which is Bill. And
this is issue 20. It is the first of my Iron Fist collection.
Yeah.
Lovely cover.
And
Love
of course, we know who this guy is, right?
Who is that?
Batroc the Leaper.
The Leaper.
So huge
villain in his life.
Captain America. Oh yeah, well not in his, originally in Captain America.
Okay. So, moving on, number 22.
22. So here's a pretty cool cover. As you can see, that Iron Fist is flowing. He's kicking some ass on the cover there.
And this is 23. Issue 23. Love this cover.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This was the first one that I had in my collection of Marvel Premiere, by the way. I didn't have many. I had 2 of them, and this was the first one.
And then you get to stick with Bill here for a second here.
Issue 24. I just picked this up last year at Comic-Con. Nice. Great action cover.
Is that Monstroid? Is that what they're calling that robot there? It looks like that.
Definitely a cool cover. Moving right along, Pete's got the rest of these. That's it for me for my Iron Fist collection with Marvel Premiere.
And anyway, this is the last Marvel Premiere that I have. I don't remember what his last issue was. This is number 25. Also pretty cool.
But the popularity of the character from Marvel Premiere, of course, as we mentioned before, he launched his own series, his own book.
So issue number 1
of Iron Fist, which is hard to get a hold of now because of the popularity of the movie,
contained also another Iron character.
Iron Man.
Iron Man is in issue number 1.
And
I don't have that one yet.
It's about $50. I've seen it at flea markets recently, but
here we have issue
Rich for
number
My
2.
Blood. Number 2.
Number 2.
Nice looking cover.
And then issue number 3.
And these are all from Pete's collection, by the way.
The Ravager.
Look at that, man.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Cool.
Definitely cool.
Very cool character. Again, he used, I don't remember exactly, I'm not big on martial arts. He used his chi, but he was well versed in the actual martial arts. So even when he wasn't getting that Iron Fist cooking, he was actually a very, very skilled fighter. His martial arts skills were second to none. I always liked this cover. One of my favorites of the early Iron Fist run.
25 center.
Yep.
From 1975. When it's saying still on 25 cents, I think it was September of 76 when they flipped over to 30 cents.
For those of you who have followed the show, there's Colleen Wing on the cover there.
Oh,
Colleen Wing is one of the best characters in the Netflix Iron Fist show, which I actually like quite a bit. I think it was probably the weakest out of all the Netflix shows, but it was still,
for Marvel Comics characters,
still really good in my opinion. I thought this is a great cover right here. This is issue number 7? Yeah,
I've seen that one before. Yeah, that's out there.
Some glare there.
We're getting some glare tonight.
And here we go. He's got that Iron Fist going. Yeah, just ripping off a car door. Kind of neat. And of course, everybody knows that he eventually wound up teaming once the Iron Fist series, which we're showing you here, ended its run.
Luke Cage, Power Man, and they called it Power Man and Iron Fist, but it was carried over into the Luke Cage comic.
Now, some of you may recall these villains on this cover. That's the Wrecking Crew. So you got the Wrecker and Company, Records.
Oh, yeah.
Great villains, so they're all here, right?
Definitely.
I forget what most of them are called, but and then here number 12.
Nice.
This is Phil's gonna like this one here.
Captain America.
Captain America.
Iron Fist.
That's right.
It's always good when they do those crossover clashes. Kind of like that.
Here he's fighting for issue number 13 against Boomerang. Pretty cool.
Heard that name before.
Yes, indeed. And of course, classic villain, not an Iron Fist villain, but
let's see.
You X-Men fans and you Hulk fans will know Mr. Sabretooth.
Yes.
Right? Look at that.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of the X-Men, for number 15, there they are. This might actually be the last issue. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But there they are. You see Nightcrawler down at the bottom, and that's what Mr. Colossus right there, and Storm. So pretty cool. So that's the Iron Fist run.
Not quite. They also kept them. Speaking of crossovers, he teamed up with Spider-Man in Marvel Team Up. Marvel Team Up was a Spider-Man comic where he teamed up with different heroes, and in this particular issue, Spider-Man and Iron Fist, a great issue. In the beginning, these two clash. And then they have a little chat and get on the same page, and they team up together. But in the beginning, these two are fighting each other. Great comic. I just picked this up last year at a flea market. And when I saw Iron Fist on the cover, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so I had to get this one. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to move over, keep it in the fashion of martial arts. Now we move over to Master of Kung Fu. And Pete has a lot from this title. I only have 3 issues. Had 1 in my collection. And it's a high number, but I don't have any of the low issues. I bought 2 of them, but Pete can kick it off with the lower issues here, as he's going to show you right now.
So he appeared in another kind of like introductory series, which I have like 1 or 2, but I didn't bring him here for today. But then he eventually wound up in his own series, because that's kind of how Marvel did things.
Do you remember the name of that introduction?
Yeah, I forget. I totally forget.
You remember what you forget. Okay, that's good.
Didn't do our homework. Did not do the homework.
Well, we don't use cue cards. We've told you that before. We kind of fly off
and
the cuff here.
when you got really big collections like we have, sometimes it's hard to remember. Like all
then
the
we
stuff
usually remember after the fact, kind of thing. That always happens.
But anyway,
it's okay. Moving right along.
Number 17 here, we have him fighting Blackjack, who actually he worked on the same team with shortly after.
Never heard of this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Yeah, he's a British guy.
All right.
Because actually, Shang-Chi wound up working with almost like a James Bond organization from Great Britain.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff.
All right.
So, and he was a cool character. His father was Fu Manchu. All right. Kind of interesting. So, and here, issue number 19, fighting one of our favorite characters.
The Man-Thing.
The Man-Thing.
I love how his foot goes right through. Doesn't show any effect to the Man-Thing.
Of course not.
Nope.
Let's go down to Florida and fight the Man-Thing and just kick right through his leg. Here we have issue number 20.
Love that cover. Great artwork, by the way, on Master of the Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Great artwork.
It's number 21. And you can actually get these for really, really good prices nowadays.
Because they haven't made a movie about it yet.
Yeah,
so
it's not as important as, no TV show, no movie. But as soon as that happens, forget it.
Forget it.
Number 22. Here he is, kicking ass, taking names. He was like a one-man army, this guy. Number 24.
Again, great cover.
Yep. And here we go, the Fist of Fury.
So I would guess that this comic appealed to a lot of martial artists back in the day when this was being published.
And the Kung Fu show was on
with David Carradine
right around the same time.
Well, that was from 72 to like 76 or 77, something like that. It started in 72.
Yep.
This book started as a 20 center or a 25 center?
This started as a 20 center.
Okay. So that's 1973.
Yep.
Right when Kung Fu, the TV show, was going.
Number 30. And
I love that TV show, Kung Fu, by the way. My favorite character was Master Po.
We didn't bring a lot of them today, but you know what? There was an artist who worked on this series briefly. He worked on maybe about 10 or 15 issues named Paul Lacy.
Okay.
And an incredible artist.
Okay, so that's 31.
It's 31. Bill's got a
The oldest in my collection, I assume this is Paul that you just mentioned, the artist. This is issue 33. And I just picked this up a few months ago at a Comic-Con for $1. But this was the oldest the guy had. And I just love this cover, man. This is a great one. Also picked this
That's
one.
a Paul Lacy cover right there.
Okay,
That's
what I just showed.
This one right here.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Number 55. Now, this is a 30 center. This is probably from like 1977.
I always kind of compare him to
76.
Jim Steranko. Very, very
This is
similar.
a cool cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
I've seen this for many times, and when I had a chance to pick it up, I finally jumped on it. Got it for $1.
That's a poster cover right there.
The only Master Kung Fu in my collection before I started collecting was this one. This is issue 92, 50 center. This is probably from 1982, 81, I'm guessing. And you can notice a difference in his clothes.
Yep.
As opposed to
the red gi,
the red gi. Yep. But that wraps it up for Master Kung Fu for my collection.
Giant size. A couple more.
He's got a few more. Let's see what you got.
So here's giant size number 1. I remember buying this on the newsstand. Look at that cool cover.
Definitely cool.
And then king size number 1. And look who he's teamed up with there. We got 2 of our main guys here that we're talking about today together.
Was that Master?
Giant
that was
size.
Iron Fist on the cover.
Iron Fist, yes.
Come back. Bring that back. That was kind of a quick flash.
Sorry, there he is.
There he is.
Both of them. Yep.
Iron Fist.
Side by side against, I forget who that guy is.
The villain.
And then I got to also have number 2.
Number 2. Let's
Death Trap for Shang-Chi.
Definitely cool.
And then we got...
that's it for
Master
Kung
Fu.
Regarding martial arts, we're going to keep going. This is, again, a martial art theme. When I saw this, I had to buy this. This is Spider-Man Marvel team-up with the Sons of the Tiger.
Yes.
I never heard of these guys, but definitely a cool-looking cover. And had to go with it.
Johnny Storm.
Is that Reed Richards? Or that's Johnny Storm?
Johnny Storm?
Johnny Storm.
These guys look familiar. So I don't know who those are. These gangster
guys.
But
definitely, this is for... I have a few different Marvel team-up issues, and I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but when I saw this martial art related, had to jump on it.
Yep.
So that pretty much wraps up Marvel Comics with martial artists. However, there was a book that came out in the mid-'80s that became a blockbuster hit.
Cultural phenomenon.
There you go.
Say that twice.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There we go.
I only have 3 of them in my collection, but these are originals, not reprints. This is issue 19. This is a 3-part story, so I bought all 3 parts.
That's the Shredder on the cover.
I'm sorry, I went backwards. This is issue 21. Going backwards, this is issue 20. And this is issue 19, part 1 of the story. And these are the only Teenage Ninja Turtles that I have. I'm not going to say the whole name.
No. Better you don't.
Better off that I don't.
I have a whole bunch of them too. Yeah, this is great stuff.
They're the only ones, and because we're doing something, because of the request for martial arts, I figured I'd bring out something that you probably never heard of, Ninja Gaijin. This is actually a black and white book on the inside, an independent comic. This is from the late 80s, but a great cover, and because it's martial arts, I bought it. I jumped on it.
Wasn't that a video game back in the day?
Ninja Gaijin? Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, for Nintendo.
I think so. Yeah.
But,
I haven't heard that in a while.
Speaking of ninjas, it has such great appeal. When I saw this independent comic, Ninja Elite, I jumped on it. This is the first issue. Not a very popular comic, I don't believe. It didn't come out on a regular basis. It had to keep coming back to my local comic shop to find out when the next issue was coming. Color covers, black and white on the inside, but the main character is a female. And interesting story because she's a ninja, and of course she wants to go to battle, and she's kind of sitting on the sidelines. They're not sending her out. And she complains to her master. She says, what good is a weapon if you only use the weapon to chop wood? A very intricate story. I love this story. This is the second issue.
Who's the publisher on that?
I believe it's Aircell, I believe. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't think, you know what? I don't really know. I thought it was Aircell. I have to go and do my homework on it. Again, they didn't come out on a regular basis. These independent comics didn't have the budget like Marvel or DC.
They were definitely not monthly.
So they didn't come out on a timely fashion. They might be a few weeks late or a month or so late. This is issue 3. I don't know when this issue stopped, But this is the 4th issue.
That's a cool cover.
And then I had, at one point in time, I had 2 copies of this. This is the 5th issue, which I thought was like one of the best looking covers that they did. And then I wound up getting issue 6, which was, I thought was pretty cool. Again, it was a great story, I thought, for a martial art themed comic, and it was about a ninja, which was, I had never seen before, because Master of Kung Fu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Iron Fist are not ninjas.
No, they're not.
But this character's a ninja.
Yeah.
And here she is sneaking up on her enemy.
That's right.
This is the last issue in my collection from this. This is issue number 8. And this is the main character. But if you ever get a chance to pick up Ninja Elite, I highly recommend it. And I'm Wild Bill. I approve this message. All right? Yeah. I'm telling you, this is a great read. If you like martial arts, if you're into martial art comics, this is the book to read.
And that's a recommendation, guys.
Yeah. And that pretty much wraps up our martial art edition. So thank you for watching. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for joining us. I'm Wild Bill from Comic Book Geezers. Peace out. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. And we've got Captain Marvel coming. We've got the Hulk coming and all sorts of other good stuff.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
We haven't done Iron Man.
Yeah. And
Thor.
We haven't done Thor yet.
We were thinking about doing Marvel teams such as Fantastic Four,
Avengers,
the Defenders,
Champions.
The Champions. That would be a quick one because there's only 16 issues. Who else is out there for a team? I'm trying to think.
X-Men. I don't know.
Yes, the X-Men. I don't have a lot of X-Men.
No, I don't either.
But
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. We're going to wrap it up and say goodnight. Thanks for being here. See you next time.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.